we voted by a narrow majority to leave. And what has followed is not a clear carrying out of that instruction, but muddle, which is leading to the bleeding out of Britain. Investors are sitting on their hands. Doctors and nurses are not coming here to work anymore.
Well, yes, they are. No. Hold on a minute. Lord Malloch Brown, a few moments ago, you just said, let's stop all the lies, but, silly messages on the sides of buses. It is a simple factual lie, a factual statement of mistruth, that the doctors and nurses aren't coming to work in here from the EU. That there's the figures, the official figures do not say that. And you know that.
Well, that's exactly why we have to get this conversation to a place where real facts...
People like you... with all due respect, Lord Malloch Brown, people like you need to not state things you know to be untrue.
Well, look, if that is the standard, you'd have been off the air for years.
Really? What have I ever said that's untrue?
Oh, I mean, where to begin?
Begin. Feel free to begin.
No, because to be honest, I've watched you on Sky News in the evening, laying out your version of newspaper articles, which when you then look at them the next day say very different things. But the point is, you are entitled to do that. You are a polemicist, not a journalist, but a polemicist.
I'm not a journalist.
On one side of the argument.
I'm not a journalist. And that's going to come as a surprise to my old journalism tutor.
And, and I think we are all, it is fine to have the battle of, ideologies, ideas, whatever. But what the British people are demonstrating in every bit of polling is they want somebody to tell them the facts.
Yes, and I've just called you up. You said, you and I both agreed, yes, we need to be discussing the facts. And then you proceeded to tell something you knew to be untrue, and I called you up on it. Sir, you may not think I'm a journalist. I don't think you're a Democrat.
Well, with that, Julia, a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you very much. Sir.
Well, there we are then. I do think. I love that I'm a polemicist, not a journalist. You can be both. It is possible.
I've been to Sunderland and spoken to people who were reassured by their bosses that their jobs were safe. And the Japanese ambassador has recently come out to say the exact opposite. Those people in Sunderland deserve a hell of a lot better than Brexit.
Well, they voted for it, so you're telling me that they're too stupid to know what they voted for?
I'm saying
that's an insult to them and an insult to the working class of this country.
I'm not saying
you should be ashamed of yourself.
No, I'm saying that Remainers didn't know what they were voting for either, because quite simply, if you do not know what the single market is, you do not know whether or not it's a good idea to leave it or not. For example,
right. So all of you elitist types, don't call me sir. All of you elitist types who know everything about the law and everything about the EU are going to talk down to everybody who's too stupid to know what happened, and you're going to try and reverse a very democratic decision that was taken by the majority of people who voted in this country.
For you, sir. Sorry, my question for you
stop
is:
calling me sir.
What is the single market?
What difference does it make? What the single market is?
What is the single market?
I don't know what the single market is. I don't care what the single market is.
There we go.
I don't give a stuff.
You do not know what the single market is. This is the whole. This is the primary term that's been used throughout the entire of this debate, and you don't know what it is. That is the benefit. It's the thing of the EU that provides an economic benefit.
Why don't you tell me what it is then?
All right.
Imagine you educate all of us what the single market is.
Imagine if you wanted to sell to 28 different countries, including your own, but those 28 different countries had different laws.
Yeah, imagine that. That all happened before 1973.
Yeah. You would have.
Do you know Bob Geldof said?
No,
wait a second. Bob Geldof said that the music business. Yeah, but I didn't mean it though. I'm just playing with you, man.
Yeah, and if
I don't actually want you to give me a boring answer. Of course, I know what the bloody single market is. If those countries
have different laws, I'd have to manufacture, market, and package my product in 28 different ways.
No, you wouldn't.
That would raise my costs.
Absolute rubbish.
I'd have to pay for the extra.
What a load of nonsense.
I'd have to pay for the extra.
You have become delusional, and it's time for you to have your medication, quite frankly.
I would have to pay for the extra cost of regulatory checks. It would increase my costs. Now, by making laws together, it means anything made in this country is automatically legal across Europe. That makes things cheaper. It makes things cheaper to sell.
So I won't be able to buy a Mercedes anymore. Is that what you're telling me? I won't be able to go to Germany and buy myself a Mercedes or an Audi or a BMW because it'll be too difficult.
You'll be able to, but it will cost more.
You don't know that.
This is about ordinary working people. Ordinary working people.
Oh, like Alistair Campbell, the man who ignored 1.7 million people who voted against the Iraq War.
Ordinary working people who will be the worst hit. Because quite simply...
Why are they not on the march then?
It's the areas of this country that are already the worst off that will be hurt the most.
They're the ones that voted to leave.
If the places
they voted to leave.
If the economy is hit, it is always those who are already worst off who suffer most. An economic
they don't seem to believe that because they voted to leave. Did they not?
An economic hit is not going to make Westminster suddenly start caring about Sunderland, about Hull. It is those areas that will suffer the most. And I find that completely unacceptable.
Well, you may find it unacceptable, but you may also find unacceptable the fact that they voted to leave.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that you know more than they do? That they're too stupid to understand it? That is the biggest insult you've come out with yet.
I'm saying they voted for more control, a better NHS, and to be better off.
Rubbish. They just wanted to leave.
And right now, they don't.
They just wanted to leave.
People do not wake up every morning thinking about the EU. They think about...
You do. I bet you do.
No, I don't.
What did you wake up thinking about this morning?
Actually,
breakfast, primarily.
Actually, Femi, I think you'll find that most people did vote on immigration, rather than the NHS.
Which comes to control.
But it's like, so, you know, they voted to leave. They've had that vote.
And if we're going to talk about immigration, what do people believe about the EU in terms of immigration? Why do they think?
Well, the EU has made it easier for people to emigrate into Europe and made it easier for people, once they're in Europe, to migrate to Britain. That's a fact. It's as simple as that.
And what do they believe? Do they believe there's uncontrolled migration?
You're asking me what other people believe. I'm not arrogant enough to tell you what other people believe. I can tell you what I believe. You're the guy that thinks you know what everybody else thinks. So why don't you tell me?
Well, we were told by the people that during the Brexit campaign that the EU forces uncontrolled immigration and there's nothing we can do to stop unlimited numbers of people from the other countries coming here enjoying the same rights and privileges as all the rest of us. That's a direct
There were
quote
3 countries that allowed uncontrolled immigration to come in from Eastern Europe, right? We signed up with Ireland and with Sweden. We didn't have to do that, but we did. So partially it's Britain's fault. However, as a result of being in the European Union, we have a much bigger immigration problem than we would have had if we were not in it. It's as simple as that.
What the people are mocking is the way this whole so-called investigation has been presented.
Well, who do you think? Who do you think tried to poison Skripal?
No idea.
Do you think it was a Russian?
No, there's no idea. Nobody gave us any other versions.
Well, who in the UK gets Novichok?
Oh, there's many people. First of all, we don't know what sort of poison it was because if...
Well, we do.
No, we don't.
We do.
People would be dead.
There's forensic evidence.
No. People would be dead. And these...
There are.
No, the Skripals would... First of all, you have to change your tone talking to me. You're a kid compared to me. So please,
well, I don't think
behave
age,
yourself.
I don't think age
you're
has
a presenter.
To do with
no,
this,
you
Alexander.
invited me to the show. You should be polite to me.
I'm a British citizen. I'm a British citizen.
So what? Well, talk to other people like that. I have not done anything wrong against anyone.
You are trying to defend a regime that has entered Britain and murdered.
No, you have no
one
proof.
of our citizens.
You are now making
and tried,
it up. You're making it up. You have no proof at all. None. Zero. None. You are pointing to certain facts that prove nothing. You have read some papers which are writing something which I don't even understand.
Can I ask you, Alexander, are you proud of your country?
Of which country?
Russia.
Well, of course I'm proud of the people.
Are you proud of the Russian government?
No, I don't like the Russian government. Nobody likes the Russian government in Russia itself.
Because I also want to ask you about the member of the Russian protest group Pussy Riot. There is a man who ran onto the pitch protesting during the final of the World Cup. He embarrassed the Russian government. He embarrassed your president, Vladimir Putin. There were actually jokes at the time, Alexander, saying, gosh, you've got to be careful if you're this guy because he might be knocked off. And sure enough, Pyotr Versilov has now been poisoned.
It's not yet clear, by the way. He's in hospital, but I can tell you something. When they ran on that pitch, I tell you, I thought they'd go to prison. They didn't. I mean, they were quite...
No, he didn't go to prison. They've just murdered him.
If you want to talk on this level, downside, let me ask you this. Are you proud of your government invading Iraq and killing 1 million people? If you're going to play this game like that, I can turn it around and say you're a murderer. You live in a country that sent
But we have democracy. We voted that government out, Alexander. We voted that government out.
No.
The Russian
you
people
killed 1 million
have
people
an
in another country, so what you voted out doesn't matter to these people.
The Russian people do not have
so you
an
have
opportunity to vote out Putin. And I'm a gay man. I'm not even allowed to operate in your country. Do you think it's right that the Russian government...
There are gay clubs in Moscow. You can go there easily.
But homosexuality is illegal.
No, it's not illegal, by the way. Who said that to you?
Homosexuality is illegal.
No, you don't even know this for sure. What is banned is promotion of sex using... You had the same 28th clause here, and now you are telling me that was the point, the same point you had in Britain. So why are you telling me it's illegal if there are gay clubs open? Please, come in. They're all over Moscow. So how do they operate? Illegally? I don't understand what you're saying.
You have anti-gay laws.
It is not an
Russia.
anti-gay law, by the way. It is promotion of any sex for minors using public funds, just like you had in this country.
Do we now?
No, you banned it, okay, so it will be banned as well. So you must understand, you can't...
Do you believe democracy exists in Russia?
No, you can't...
Alexander, do you believe democracy
exists in Russia? No, there is no
democracy
democracy anywhere, even here. There's no democracy left in this world. There's censorship everywhere. So we are talking about how do you feel about this and this, but the whole tone of your interview is not a sort of a proper interview. It's just you make a statement, and I have to agree with it.
No. How does someone sending a tweet that hurts someone's feelings, it may be a tweet that you would never write, it may be a tweet that I would never write, it may be a tweet that I read and think, oh, God, they sound like a nasty piece of work. If it's not a crime, it's none of your bloody business.
Well, it's all right for us to sit in our radio studios or in our offices saying this, but if you live in some of these communities where people are deeply affected by this, and that causes tension within our communities, that becomes an issue for policing.
OK, well, let's talk about what causes tension in communities. OK, we go back many years to the South Yorkshire Police and we look at what happened, the Hillsborough incident. That caused a lot of tension in terms of lack of trust. I know you weren't Police and Crime Commissioner. They didn't exist at that time. But then we go back not very many years at all to the Rotherham child rape gangs when there are now 98 separate investigations into the failures of senior police officers to deal with this. Some 1,500 girls being routinely, daily gang raped. And the police decided to turn a blind eye to it. Do you not think that there will be an awful lot of people in the South Yorkshire area, your communities that you speak so much about, who might prefer it if the police spent their time investigating gang rape of teenage girls rather than people whose feelings are hurt on Twitter?
If it's a case of either or, then of course that would be absolutely...
It is a case of either or. You don't investigate all the crimes that are committed. Do you not think that once you've sorted out the actual crimes, maybe you might have time to deal with some of the non-crimes?
No, because I think these are things that are affecting the police in policing on a daily basis. So it's very important that the trust between our communities and our police is re-established for the reasons that you've highlighted.
Well, the trust will be re-established when you investigate, record and deal with and solve the crimes that are actually being committed.
Of course it is, because we're talking about people in our communities who may be disabled, people who may have issues about their gender identity, which other people take exception to. They may be people of a particular faith, there may be people of a particular race, and that can be of any race, and it can go any which way. And that deeply affects those people as individuals, and it can affect...
Do you know what also affects people? People being stabbed, people being raped, people having their homes burgled, people being mugged on the streets. Recorded crime has risen 30% compared with a national rise of 21%, including very, very serious violent crime. I'm sure some people's feelings are hurt, but is that a top priority for the police?
Yeah, I was at a meeting yesterday in the Winter Gardens in Sheffield City Centre where we were looking at knife crime, and we gathered together people from different communities. Now, some of those were people from different ethnic minority communities, precisely the sort of people who were deeply affected by the incident that happened on Saturday. And I
think the people who were most affected by the incident on Saturday were the people who were terrified out of their wits when a 6-foot woman ran through the town shouting, "Kill, kill, kill," with a large knife in her hand.
No, you're absolutely wrong, partly because I suppose...
I'm wrong.
Here. Well, you're wrong in the sense that it wasn't only those people. Those people were affected.
No, I said the people who are most... You're telling me that someone who saw a nasty tweet the day after an incident in which someone ran down the street shouting "kill, kill, kill" in the middle of the city, and you're saying that, well, no, their feelings may well have been hurt just as much.
No, I'm saying to you that on Saturday when that incident happened, there were a lot of people affected. Market traders, people who were shopping in the town centre, people who were passing by, they were deeply affected by that. Also, because of the vile racist comments that were put on social media and elsewhere and the rumours that ran around, other people were affected as well beyond the town centre, and that included some people from ethnic minority groups, not only in Barnes, but in other parts of South Yorkshire. You
have, can I just say, Trial and Billings, you have repeatedly, in virtually every answer you've given to me, you've talked about our communities, you've talked about trust, and you've talked constantly about ethnic minority groups and religious groups. That has been the theme throughout all of your answers. Now, maybe it's
not been
because
the
I don't know. Maybe it's because maybe it's because the person I am. I don't know. I think that most people in this country, regardless of the skin colour, their religion, or anything else, they just want the police to do their job. They want the police to be on the streets, but Bobby's on the beat. They want if they record a crime to have that crime investigated, and they want their work done. I don't think they think the police should be remotely involved in the communities, ethnic relations, other than where there is a crime involved.
Believe it or not, somebody has said that the best place to live if you're under 30 is Sunderland. And not only is it the best place to live in this country, but it's also the best place to work. Now, I don't know anyone who likes Sunderland. I don't know anyone who's been there that says it's anything other than a completely awful, ghastly place. And I'm talking about people who studied there, right? Now, we tried to find somebody from Sunderland to actually defend it, but all we could find was Andy Dawson, podcaster and TalkSport presenter, who's, of course, from nearby Middlesbrough. Andy, a very good morning to you. Welcome.
Hi, Mike. I'm from Sunderland, actually.
Oh, I thought you were from Middlesbrough.
No.
Right. So what's great about Sunderland?
When was the last time you were in Sunderland, Mike?
I've never been there.
Right. So you've just said that it's a dump, but you've never been?
Yeah, because everyone I know who's ever been there says it's a dump, and that's why I've never been.
Right. Okay.
I presume it's famous for its sense of humour, Andy.
Oh, you know what? I can't be bothered with this.
You can't be bothered with what? Oh, dear. Andy Dawson has hung up the phone, thereby proving that Sunderland is a very unwelcoming part of the world. That is quite extraordinary. Poor old Andy, I wonder why he doesn't like talking about Sunderland. Maybe somebody could help us out. 0344 499 1000 is the number to call. Apparently, if you want to upset anyone from Sunderland, what you do is you say that they're from Middlesbrough. But actually, it's all part of the joke, really, isn't it? How very interesting. How very, very interesting.